2 hours? Yeah, you're crazy. I'm not. I ain't doing all that. Actually, I probably am gonna do all that. Unfortunately, I don't want to sit here for that long, but we're gonna have to. So I don't know the proper way to do this video. I've been thinking about it. We have a 2 hour episode one that is split into 4 episodes for streaming service purposes. That is it 4 episodes or is it one? Because it's one, but it's split into four. But like when I title this and I upload it, like do I upload them all together and say this is episode one? Or do I upload them all together and say this is episode 1 through 4? Or do I upload them in 4 different ones? Say this is episode one, this is like, what do I do? I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I have zero idea where to go from here. We're going to figure it out. I think the logical thing to do, we had something similar happen with Kaguya, the movie, which I watched all in one because it's a movie, which I think I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to watch it straight through all in one. But I'm going to take breaks between because that's something I wish I did with the Kaguya movie where I stopped and I talked and figured out certain things that happen, you know, through each episode of it. So I think I'm going to do that here. And then I'll probably just look it up and see if people are uploading all four as one or if they're just doing them separate and titling them like how other people are doing it. Because I'm going to take forever to get this up anyways. So by the time that happens, I'll have an idea. And if people are doing them separate, I'll probably do 4 different episodes. Because I like saying, I like talking about, you know, I like talking way too much about the things that I watch and just how they make me feel, you know, and what happened. So likely we're going to have 4 episodes probably of this where I do that. If not, I'll do it all in one, but there's going to be breaks between. So there'll be timestamps. If that's not here, then you know why we just split it up. But that's what's likely going to happen. Okay, now on to the show. I believe it's FRIEREN, right? Is that, I think that's how you say it. Background knowledge on this series. I know nothing. I believe we have the director from Bocchi the Rock who worked on this, if I'm correct. Studio Madhouse. I know the OP and ED artist. I know what the main girl looks like. And I think it's a fantasy. I don't think it's like a isekai or anything. I think it's just like a fantasy world setting. I know nothing. I have no clue. I don't know if this is going to be action. I don't know if this is going to be just like slice of life fantasy stuff. I don't believe that's probably the case. I don't know anything. So we're just going to kind of get into it. We're going to see what happens. Expectations are unreal how high they are. I'm just saying, I'll be honest. One, you don't get an episode that's this long for it to not, you know, be worthy of it and need to be that good. Two, I believe the actual source materials have pretty high ratings and praise through a lot of people. Three, I watched one of the trailers like forever ago when it came out and it looked great. So I'm believing it's going to be, you know, visually really, really good. And I'm just kind of excited. I don't think I know anything else. I think that's kind of what we're going to get into. This is a Toho produced show. So if you know, Toho is the worst company in the world and they claim like all the videos I do on them. Strangely, didn't claim Shoko Tensei at all last season, which I thought was weird. But JJK gets claimed like all the time. And same thing with like Spy Family and the other shows that I've tried to do through them. So if this ultimately gets claimed at some point, which I expect it to, there'll be a link in the description for you to go on and watch the reaction if you still want to see that. Hopefully that doesn't happen because there's a lot of Toho shows this season that I want to watch, which is really unfortunate that they have all the things I want to watch and I'm not going to be able to upload any of them. But we're going to work with what we got and we're going to move through it. I don't know any other alternatives, so if anybody has any suggestions on how I can get around them. They don't claim the video. It is not the video. They claim the audio of the video, and I don't know how to do that. I've tried a lot of different things. Nothing has seemed to work. I have no idea how others get around it, but we end up moving from there. Okay, that's enough yapping. Let's get going, though. Episode 1. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion after this. Likely we'll have episodes 1 through 4 if I decide to split them all up in a video uploaded by the next day after this, in case you're wondering. I'll probably have 1 and 2 up today. I'm probably just going to upload them as I get them done, but if I finish 3 and 4 later in the night, I'll probably just upload them the next day. I'll figure it out, but they'll be up probably within 24 to 48 hours of each other. Everything will be up, and I'll be back here every Friday for this, so hopefully you enjoy. Let's get going though with episode 1. I love the visuals for those. As we journey on throughout the seasons, so much time passes. That's so cool. Now, I may take back what I'm about to say because I still have 3 more to get through. After finishing that, I don't understand the reason for making the episode entirely long, if that makes sense. Like I'm saying, 4 parts for us to do a 2-hour special. To me, that is a excellent enough start that we don't need to do more. Like it's not necessary. Like I can get filled up with what we got here and have enough that I want to talk about and I enjoyed so much that I don't need to be like, oh, I need to know what happens now. Like I feel like I got left like wondering what comes next. Not saying that like I don't want to know, but I'm saying like it feels like there's such a proper stopping point that it just makes sense. Like we could have ended it there and then made you wait another week. Like I just don't, the disconnection, I guess, of having to do like a 2-hour thing just doesn't make much sense to me. Regardless, I think that is a excellent episode. I think everything that they needed to do, they did excellent. I think it is beautiful the way that it looks. Visually, one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a long while, in my opinion, and not really too much went on that involved them having to go, I guess, too crazy. I felt entirely immersed throughout the entire thing. It felt like I was just watching a movie go by, to be honest, because of how much time actually passed throughout this. It makes it interesting. I think the entire focus of this series, if I had to make my entire guess now, actually, I could go 2 ways, but initially I was under the impression we would just follow FRIEREN and her journey throughout life because she lived so much longer than all these other people and having to grow these connections and stuff with people and then see them die around her over the years. Which we would ultimately have to see how much that changes her as a person, how much she either doesn't want to grow a connection to other people because their lives are so short in comparison to hers, or if it was something along the lines of she wanted to understand and get to know them better after having to lose somebody for the first time really here, and starting to feel like maybe she should cherish and like treasure her relationships with these people more, get to know them and love them a lot more than maybe she has before, and not just treat things like time passes, no problem. Either could work, but I think likely we're going to end up actually following the route where we time pass through like 100 years here, or I think it was probably like 70-ish, I think. And then we end up now having her take on a new journey, which is what was presented at the end of this episode here. And we're going to go forward with Fern as our secondary partner here, and then probably find 2 other people to come with us. Whether the priest ends up coming, I don't know how, because Buddy's getting way too old, or if we end up just finding 2 others and we're going to end up forming a group of 4 that is going to adventure onwards and allow FRIEREN to kind of experience and learn a lot more things instead of operating so solo all these times, and actually experience this connection that she probably missed between people, that she's now able to have through somebody like Fern taking them on as like an apprentice, even though she says she doesn't want to, but teaching them magic and giving them this type of stuff for them to look forward to and do within the future. I think can work really excellent as a method of, I guess, kind of doing this. It's similar to like To Your Eternity in a way, with how we have to pass so much time and like see all these people around you and, you know, and understand how some people's lives are so short and stuff like that. But I don't think that show does a good enough job of nailing some of those points. Also could be because the first season didn't time skip like a crazy amount, so we didn't really get to see that kind of come out, and I wasn't really big on season 2 personally, but I think this could work really, really well if they wanted to go a route along those lines. And they don't even have to. There's enough set up that makes this just an interesting enough journey for us to move forward just on like a adventure fantasy type show, which works perfectly as well. And it doesn't have to be anything overly complex or deep when it comes to the relationship or FRIEREN's kind of journey to finding more reason and purpose within life, I guess, and finding just like these little things that really matter the most to her. We kick off with an OP, which is crazy because that's not something that you usually do. I guess I don't like going too much into them, as I always like saying, because in case we spoil things. But it appears we're going to have a redhead kid who takes over with us. And then this other guy is going to take over and be like our younger version of a priest in a way. And that's going to be our group of 4 probably, which will be cool. And we get FRIEREN with us. We open to a... Okay, so they said they defeated the Demon King. I thought for whatever reason they said that we still have to defeat the Demon King. I completely got that wrong. So the entire journey here also, because in the title says Beyond Journey's End, our journey of defeating the Demon King comes to a close. Where do we go now? What is the beyond when it comes to that? Which is more so where FRIEREN is kind of trying to find herself in a way. Everybody else kind of settles down and doesn't have too much going on, it seems like. She continues journeying onwards, as all these people probably spent 10 plus years of their lives doing this thing. Of course, they realize that they probably only have another, ended up being what, like 50-ish years. Let me just not have to go out and put myself in a position that I'm going to kill myself. You know, I'm a hero, basically. I got a fucking statue in the middle of the town. Like, I don't need to do any more. You know, I've done enough and accomplished what I have to. It's like a soldier going to war, you know, he does his time and he's done after that. And like, they essentially have completed what they need to, but she is struggling to probably find that reason. Or even if she's not struggling and I'm putting that too much on her, because that's typically a route that you would take with these stories, is trying to find your own purpose and find yourself, wonder where you go next from here. She seems like she actually has things that she's just going out and journeying and doing whatever and learning whatever spells, like collecting everything that she can. Like, she seems like she has something that's putting her like in place, like enough to know what she wants to do. It's just, I guess, maybe not as fulfilling as the things that we can give her and allow her to experience throughout her life, which is the connections and stuff that she'll be able to get now with FRIEREN and whoever else that she gets within this new squad. We could also just go an entire route where instead of something so simplistic like that, we could just be like, oh, the age of peace is now over because it's been almost 100 years, and then like a new war or somebody like arises and we have to go out of our way, and she has to or we get to see her on like this journey with her new group, trying to go out and do basically what the old group was able to accomplish, or something similar along those lines. So there's, I guess, a few different routes if we want to really head down there. I love the hero's welcome in a way, like everybody shows back up to the town, and everybody's just celebrating and stuff. It looks great. It really does. And then we get to see everybody celebrate. We get some rewards. The food looks fantastic here. I don't know what it is. It looks great to me. I love just the interactions and stuff between our characters. I think are really, really excellent. And I don't know, they play off of each other really well. They all have their own unique and different personalities, but play off of each other entirely well, which I love. We start reminiscing about stuff and figuring out, you know, the things that everybody does wrong. We got our drunk, we got our girl who's constantly getting like sucked in and trapped with things. Like, everybody has different things about them, which is really, really cool. The shooting stars and stuff is fantastic. They look beautiful, going through the sky, or the comments, and it really works well for us to kind of showcase this again similarly in the scene later on, as they're all much older and they're witnessing this one more time together, which is really great. The time skips and stuff are a little difficult because she doesn't age much. Like, I understand that they're skipping time, but when you skip 50 years, it's fucking hard to showcase that, especially if a character looks the same after it. So like, when they were doing all this, I just figured that this was just the changing of the seasons and the things that she was doing, but no, we figure out 50 years later she's coming in. A lot of these different scenarios and areas that she's in is fucking fascinating, and there's so much that we can bring us to, like, actually put us on those locations and probably flesh out like entire stories and things happening there that they just get skipped over, which gets me really intrigued to what they want to present to us next. We end up figuring out that there's this horn that we got from the Demon King's castle that we need for whatever purpose for her summoning spell and stuff that she's doing. So she ends up going back as the 50 years have passed, and we end up finding our boy. I thought this was the dwarf guy at first, I'm not gonna lie, and then later when we see the dwarf guy, I put it into perspective for me that it's not. So he held on to the dragon horn for this entire time. She's able to give it off to the bird, and the bird brings it wherever it needs to. I don't know the whole purpose of that, I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is, and did whatever it has to. We all meet back up. It's nice to see some people have aged a lot, some haven't, and just them kind of reminiscing and being with each other again, and being able to experience this one last time and watch these. This is beautiful how it just reflects within the water that they're looking down on as well, and us being able to put it in this shot and do like a 360 like spin around all of them while this is going on is so cool. And I actually think that's great. We have to lay Buddy to rest. Really unfortunate. First time that we've seen somebody pass within the series, and somebody that's so close to FRIEREN, which appears to be the first time that she's seen that happen. Putting into question I guess I'd argue then she's probably between like 90 and 110. So I'd say like roughly 100. Because if we skip 70 years throughout this, she was already journeying for 10 years. They said would put us at 90 or would put us at 80. And then she probably had to be like 20 to even start doing it, or like at least 15 or something would put us at like 105 or so, probably around there. I think would make enough sense. We get to see everybody kind of talking about why she's not crying or why she's not showing any emotion. Like it seems like it doesn't even bother her. And it's because she doesn't really understand. She starts thinking back on these moments and actually putting into realization almost that this is never actually going to happen again, and she's going to miss out and lose these opportunities. But also just realizing maybe I didn't know enough about this guy that I spent so much time with and was so important and big on this long life that I've lived so far, was so important for such a long time, and the memories and stuff that I literally went out of my way and always kept them in my mind and went back and visited and stuff. And I don't know anything about this person themselves. It's almost like a guilt in a way that she never took the opportunity or time to learn about this person, to the point that she doesn't feel like she's deserving enough to break down or show emotion over the death of this person, which is a really, really sad thing. But I love that they're there for to kind of support her and be like, it's okay. She's like, do not pat me on the head. It's really good though. Getting a look at our friends, because this might be the last time we see them, is the saddest fucking thing. It's so sad. It really is. I love how he's just like, please bring something to drink and pour one out for me. But he is too old for this though. He has to, he's like, I can't join you on your journey and do anything anymore. We meet Fern at the end. Fern's really cute. I like her design a lot. And just her being so tiny and everything is really fun. I'm interested to see where we head with her and her route. I wonder if she's just, I'm assuming she's just literally a child. But I wonder also if she's like a dwarf or like anything else like similar to that, and what exactly she is and why she's so like tiny, or if it literally is so that she's just a kid. Whatever the case is, our priest over here gives up on alcohol, which is interesting. And I think that's just because he realizes he needs to live a long life, and he found somebody in Fern at this point now where he's kind of realized that I have to protect them, or I have purpose almost. Like he's found his reason for being here, and he wants to see them grow old, and he wants to see them live out their lives, or at least get through like a lot of the important early stages to the point that they can live on their own and he can feel comfortable enough. But he doesn't feel like he's at that point yet, which is why he's like, oh, if I give her to FRIEREN, this will work perfect, because then I won't have to worry about that and I can die peacefully. But because she won't kind of take her, it makes it a little bit more difficult, which is why he's like, if you're not going to do that, can you at least go find this thing to let people live longer so I can kind of stay alive and be with her until she gets to that point? And he even might not even mean that. Like maybe that's not even the case. Maybe it's more of like a trick to kind of like help us make her like grow and get stronger and be able to live on her own a little bit, and be on her own. Or maybe FRIEREN will grow like an attachment and he's just trying to trick her to being with her, which will be funny. I don't know, his reason of like, I lied and I am like scared to death and stuff, like makes sense. Just putting on like the brave face, like I get it. Even if I can't achieve immortality, I'd like a bit more time. I get that completely. And usually it's reasons. It's not just I'm scared to die. It's because I'm scared to leave things behind and these people behind and stuff that I feel like I haven't done enough for yet. I haven't repaid the things that I owe them or given them the things that I would like them to, and I want to be around longer for that. Something along those lines, I'm wondering. It's really good. Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Hopefully things go well here. We end with Fern as she wants to. Apparently she's able to go on her own and she'll be strong enough. She blows this thing. But she's unable to because her magic can't reach it long enough. We find out that she's just like us, though. Apparently she's somebody who doesn't particularly love magic, but she likes it enough, you know, that she wants to do it and learn in a bit. And I think that speaks volumes to FRIEREN as a person and a character here, somebody who just kind of is good at something or has something, but doesn't love the things that she's with and isn't completely like into these things, to the point that she's like, you're just somebody who's taking this up because it kind of came natural. You're good at it at a certain point. So you're like, I might as well just learn it, but it's not something that's really drives you and gets you going. So almost maybe you can bond over that and connect with this girl over it and allow possibly to venture into something that allows you to find that purpose and those things that you really want, which it seems like some of our other characters, such as the priest, was able to ultimately start finding here. And hopefully that can work out. The visuals are fucking great for the ED. The song's really good too. I love the song for it. The OP song doesn't make much sense to me. Like it doesn't fit the vibe for what I was feeling for the whole show. Like not actual or like normal like fantasy and stuff feeling. I'm just not getting that. from it, which is weird. I'll give it more listens, of course, but I don't know. It just like the vibe of it felt a little bit off, but maybe I guess the lyrics and stuff will be fine, and we'll call it at that, I guess. And that's episode 1, which was great and kind of presented a lot and everything and more than what I really wanted, and definitely sets up a lot of opportunities for us to go forward. I am interested to see the direction that they plan to take with that, moving forward more, and hopefully all goes well. And I'm very excited to see what comes next in episode 2. Probably going to edit and get this one up before I do edit episode 2, and then while that's like rendering and uploading and stuff, I'll do episode 2, and we'll just do it in that order, I think. That'll allow me to kind of rewatch it, remember that I got everything correct, or I know what I'm talking about before I get into episode 2, and then I'll be able to get the next parts up and have some time between them instead of just, I don't know. I think that might just be a better route, but we'll end up seeing. Thank you very much. If you liked, please leave a like and subscribe. They do really mean a lot to me. Leave any comments. Are you excited for what's to come next? If you're an anime only, did you like this episode and the other ones coming forward after this point? Are you excited if you're a novel reader for what's coming? Do you like the way that it's being adapted so far? Do you got any other shows you want me to watch this season? Leave a comment down below. I got a couple in mind, but if you got some other things and they get, some love and people really want them, leave them there. I'll definitely give them a look, possibly. I'll see you guys for episode 2 soon. You guys have a good one, though. Peace.